My sister mocked how I treat my wife at dinner, so I finally said what everyone avoids. I finally snapped at my sister Amy at Sunday dinner, and it was a long time coming. For years, anytime I do something nice for my wife Sadie, Amy acts like Sadie is spoiled, and I'm being ridiculous. Sadie's a nurse, and lately she's been working brutal 12-hour shifts, so she shows up tired, sore, and quiet. Last month at Mom and Dad's, Sadie sat down and rubbed her eyes, so I got up and refilled her coffee. Amy made a disgusted face and said, "Really? She can't walk to the kitchen? Her legs work." The table got awkward. Sadie forced a smile, and I let it go. 2 weeks ago, I mentioned I'd bought Sadie flowers because I saw them and thought she'd like them. Amy rolled her eyes and said, "Must be nice to waste money on dead plants." Sadie just stared at her plate, and I could tell it stung. Yesterday was our weekly dinner again, and Sadie mentioned her back was killing her from work. That night, even before Sadie said that, Amy was already making faces. Tom asked if anyone wanted more potatoes, and Amy snapped, "You always do too much, just sit down." Tom tried to laugh it off and said, "I'm just helping," and Amy muttered, "You're always performing." Sadie squeezed my knee under the table like she was telling me, "Don't start something." Then Dad asked Tom about work, and Tom started answering, but Amy cut in with, "It's the same 2 jobs, nothing exciting." I watched Tom's smile fade and come back again, like he was forcing it. Without thinking, I started rubbing Sadie's shoulders a little, right there at the table. Amy slammed her fork down so hard everyone jumped. "Oh my God, stop! Why do you always do all that?" she snapped. "She has hands. She's a grown woman. She can take care of herself." After Amy slammed her fork, she didn't even look at Sadie, like Sadie was just an excuse. She kept staring at me, like I was the one embarrassing her, and she said, "You act like she's helpless." Sadie whispered, "It's okay," but her voice was thin. Sadie froze, embarrassed, and pulled away like she wanted to disappear. Mom cleared her throat, Dad stared at his plate, and nobody said a word. Amy leaned forward with this smug smile and added, "You know what's funny? You never did stuff like that for me when we were kids. I'm your blood sister. She's just your wife." That's when I felt something in me break, because this wasn't really about Sadie at all. It was about Amy and her husband, Tom. Tom is one of the kindest guys I've ever met. He works 2 demanding jobs. He's patient. He does the little things, and he still tries to be affectionate in public. And for 15 years, I've watched Amy shut him down like it's normal. At their wedding, Tom surprised her with a nicer honeymoon upgrade he'd saved for, and Amy complained the room was too small and the view wasn't good. At family gatherings, Tom tries to hold her hand and she shrugs him off. He cracks a joke and she looks at him like he's embarrassing her. 3 months ago at my birthday, Tom pulled me aside and looked like he hadn't slept in weeks. He said, "I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If I'm romantic, I'm clingy. If I back off, I don't care. Nothing I do makes her happy." I didn't have an answer for him, and I hated that. So sitting there, hearing Amy judge me for being kind to my wife, while Tom sat quiet beside her, I couldn't keep swallowing it. I put my napkin down and looked right at her. "Amy, you really want to know why I treat Sadie well?" I said. Amy's smile faltered. "Because she actually appreciates it," I said. "When I bring her coffee, she says thank you. When I help her back, she doesn't act like I'm annoying. When I bring flowers, she doesn't insult me for it." Amy's face went red. "That's not the point," she snapped. "Yes, it is," I said. "Sadie isn't spoiled, Amy. She's just grateful. And the real problem is, you're mad because Tom doesn't do these things for you anymore." Amy opened her mouth like she was going to explode, but I kept going before I lost my nerve. "Your husband doesn't do it because you've spent years telling him nothing he does is good enough. You've trained him to stop trying." The table was dead silent. Even Mom stopped eating. Amy hissed, "Don't talk about my husband." Tom lifted his head for the first time all night, eyes tired, and he didn't say a word. I said quieter, "I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm telling you what everyone's been watching." Amy shoved her chair back and stood up. "Wow, so you're attacking me in front of everyone," she said, voice shaking. She grabbed her purse and stormed out, and the front door slammed hard enough to rattle the glasses. Tom stayed sitting there for a beat, staring at his hands like he was trying to breathe. Then he stood up slowly and said, "I'm sorry." He looked at my parents, then at me. "I can't keep doing this," he said, and his voice was flat and done. He picked up his keys and walked out after her. Now my family is blaming me for saying it at dinner. Was I wrong?